Off the coast of the Pacific Northwest lies an underwater volcano that's been quiet for 5,000 years. But now, it's showing signs of life again. Could this be a sign of an imminent eruption? In today's video, we'll explore the science behind what's happening beneath the waves and find out if there's anything to worry about. Imagine a massive explosion so powerful that it blasts ash across the globe and unleashes tsunamis that inundate coastal communities. This catastrophic event is not something out of a Hollywood blockbuster, but rather the potential aftermath of a supervolcanic eruption in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. The region, known as the Cascade Volcanic Arc, is home to an impressive lineup of volcanoes, including Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood, and of course the iconic Mount Rainier. But lurking beneath the waves is an even more formidable contender, the Cascadia Subduction Zone. This massive tectonic plate boundary stretches over 700 miles from Vancouver Island in Canada to Northern California. But it's not just any ordinary fault line. Oh no, my friends. The Cascade Subduction Zone is where two of Earth's colossal moving plates collide, the mighty Pacific Plate and the ever so slightly smaller North American Plate. And let me tell you, the Pacific Plate is not going down without a fight. It's been shoved under the surface, creating a deep ocean trench nearly 7 miles deep. That's deeper than the Mariana Trench, home to the infamous Challenger Deep and the deepest point on Earth's surface. But here's where things get really interesting. As the Pacific Plate continues its relentless journey into the Earth's fiery depths, it's not just getting hotter and hotter. No, siree. The intense pressure hundreds of miles below the ocean's surface causes the rock to melt, forming a giant blob of molten rock known as magma. And this isn't your average magma. Oh no, this stuff is thick, slow-moving and packed with enough explosive power to blow your mind. We're talking about a potential eruption of over 1,000 cubic kilometers of material. That's enough to bury the entire state of Florida under more than 3 meters of ash. Such an eruption would not only send shockwaves around the globe, but also trigger massive earthquakes and towering tsunami waves that could inundate coastal regions. Now, while such events are relatively rare, occurring only once every few 100,000 years, the last time this happened was in 1492, give or take a few years. According to geological records, this eruption was 20 times more powerful than the monstrous eruption of Krakatoa in Indonesia in 1883. But here's the real kicker. Scientists believe that the next eruption could be imminent, possibly occurring within the next 300 years. And you know what? Mother Nature doesn't usually give us a heads up before these massive explosions. So how do scientists make such bold predictions? Well, they've been studying a silent killer that lurks beneath the seafloor slow-slip events. These mysterious phenomena were first discovered in the early 2000s, when GPS stations in the Pacific Northwest recorded subtle but continuous movements of the Earth's surface. At first, scientists were puzzled, but after some digging, they uncovered the truth. Slow-slip events are basically like earthquakes, except instead of happening suddenly and causing a noticeable jolt, they occur gradually over several months. This creeping movement can generate stress and eventually lead to full-fledged earthquakes. And while most slow-slip events are small and go unnoticed, others can be quite significant. For example, one event in 2009 released as much energy as a magnitude 7.3 earthquake, although it was spread out over a much longer period. By studying the timing and location of these slow-slip events, scientists can gain insight into the buildup of pressure and movement along the fault line. And what they found is pretty alarming. The area south of Vancouver Island seems to be a hotspot for slow-slip events, with some sections of the fault line moving at a staggering rate of 1 to 3 inches per year. That may not sound like much, but it's enough to cause major problems when it eventually gives way. But wait, there's more. Scientists have also discovered something even more peculiar. In certain areas, the frequency of slow-slip events has increased dramatically in recent years. For instance, since 2016, the southern segment of the fault line has seen a whopping 10 times more frequent occurrences of these creeping earthquakes. So what does this mean for the millions of people living in the Pacific Northwest? Well, it could be a sign that the region is overdue for a major shakeup. To put it in perspective, the last major earthquake in the region occurred in 1700, more than 300 years ago. Now, while that may seem like a long time ago, in the world of geology, it's just a blink of an eye. The odds of a big one happening anytime soon are slim, but not impossible. Experts estimate that there's a 30 to 50% chance of a magnitude 8.7 or higher earthquake striking the region in the next 500 years. And while that may not seem like an imminent threat, it's certainly something to keep on your radar. So what happens if a major earthquake does strike? Well, the first thing you need to know is that it won't be a sudden violent event like you see in the movies. Instead, it will likely be a series of tremors that gradually build in intensity. However, don't be fooled by the seemingly slow start, because this rumble will quickly turn into a full-blown dance of destruction. The initial shock waves will likely reach a magnitude of 8.7 or higher, generating tremendous energy that will shake buildings, topple walls, and send people running for cover. But that's just the beginning. Aftershocks will continue to rattle the region for weeks, if not months, causing further damage and instability. And then there's the tsunamis. If the earthquake occurs offshore, it could generate massive waves that barrel toward the coast at speeds of up to 500 miles per hour. These waves will inundate coastal communities, causing widespread flooding and devastation. But it's not just the immediate aftermath that we need to worry about. In the days and weeks following the earthquake, roads will be impassable, communication networks will be down, and essential services like water, power, and gas will be disrupted. The economic impact will be staggering, with billions of dollars in damages and thousands of jobs lost. The Pacific Northwest is home to some of the most densely populated cities in the United States, with Seattle alone having a population of over 4 million people. A major earthquake in this region will not only affect the local population, but also have far-reaching consequences for the entire country. In fact, some experts have dubbed the Cascade Volcanic Arc the most dangerous geological region in the world. But all hope is not lost. Scientists are working tirelessly to monitor the situation and develop early warning systems that could give people precious minutes to take cover or evacuate. They're also studying the history of previous eruptions to better understand the likelihood of future events. For example, by analyzing the age of different layers of ash and other volcanic deposits, they've been able to reconstruct the timeline of past eruptions and estimate the frequency of future ones. They're even using computer models to simulate the behavior of magma chambers beneath the surface, helping them predict how magma might move and interact with the surrounding rock. By understanding the science behind these massive eruptions, we can develop more effective strategies for protecting ourselves and our communities. In the meantime, it's important to stay informed and prepared in case an eruption does occur. Make sure to have a plan in place for evacuating coastal areas and know what to do in the event of an earthquake. So while the Cascade Volcanic Arc may be a ticking time bomb, we're not helpless in the face of this natural phenomenon. By understanding the science, we can take steps to protect ourselves and hopefully avoid the worst-case scenario. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the heart of a ticking time bomb. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know what you want to see next. Until then, stay curious, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.